Hello, beautiful light-filled souls. I thought I'd let you see my puppy's cute face here for a minute before beginning. He's perfect exactly the way he is, even against a green screen. And I chose this background intentionally because I want to talk about unconditional love and why it's important to bring more of it into your life and how to love yourself exactly where you are, because that was the revelation of being in the presence of God is God accepted me exactly as I am. I didn't have to go to therapy. I didn't have to talk to 10 different spiritual healers. I didn't have to go to 7 conferences, and I didn't have to do anything other than just show up as the soul that I am and receive unconditional love. And we live in America, especially, we live in such a consumeristic, comparative culture. And, when you take a hike in the woods, maybe you do, but I don't. I don't go, oh, that tree is vastly beautiful than that other one. I didn't even want to look at that other one. This one is perfection. That one sucks. You look at beauty at the way it filters through the forest as you walk along. And sometimes you see the forest as a whole. Sometimes you see individual trees. You don't stop and look at it, one tree that's leaning up against the other one and go, oh my God, that tree is codependent. It really needs to stand on its own. It needs to get stronger. Like most people think, oh, isn't that lovely? It grew up that way. And this one tree lends its strength to the other one. And this is how it works for them. And isn't that lovely? No judgment, just it is. And a lot of things in life simply are, and they are a matter of only seeing from a certain perspective. You're standing on this ledge looking at the forest from this angle, so you see this, and someone standing on the other side of the forest sees something else. And doesn't mean that your ideas about it are wrong. It's just they're right for you. And that's the way so much of life is, that if you are, for instance, devalued by a narcissist, then what you need to remember, and narcissists are not fully themselves. And that's what's so bizarre about knowing one and why people have to unpack it and talk about it. Not that they want to bring more of that into their experience, but it's such a shock because most of the time people are authentic to some degree, and then they have some level of unconsciousness and brokenness within themselves. But a narcissist is false. They have a false self. And so you believe in the projection and the authentic, what you think is authentic about a person. And then you find later on, usually at the end of a relationship or friendship or acquaintance, that everything that you thought this person was easygoing, fun, supportive, can be exactly the opposite. Dramatic, full of revenge, full of hate, full of spite and lack of accountability. The exact opposite of low drama and fun. Just like high drama and crazy as shit. That's usually what you find out after you know a narcissist. So if a narcissist has sent a lot of projections about you, then what you have to do is go, oh, that's like the wind blowing through the trees. It has absolutely nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with another source of energy. And that source of energy has nothing to do with my power and my truth and my reality and my roots and my groundedness. And, narcissists are so funny. And a lot of times they'll say, oh, I'm going to destroy you. I'm going to expose you. But if you're an authentic person, you're like, oh, too late. I've already exposed myself. I've already written a memoir. I already talk a whole lot on YouTube. There's some things that obviously people don't know, but it's, nothing that wouldn't be that shocking. Like, we're human and we all struggle in various ways. So I find it amusing, first of all, because really it's the narcissist who doesn't want to be exposed as the drama king or drama queen that they are, just needing that source of supply so that they can project their own pain and misery onto it instead of just truly being happy. Like happiness is really underrated, but inner peace and true happiness, not consumable happiness, whether it's a show or a bubbly drink or whatever it may be, to really sit with yourself and be happy is vastly underrated. And to sit with yourself amidst the projections and the value systems of other people is an interesting thing, whether you have a public forum or whether you're fairly private and you're just engaging in social activities. It's always interesting to see, other people's value systems. And I just want to remind you, though, that God values us all. And I believe that there's even healing for narcissist in that unconditional love. I recently, and I'll post a link to it because I found it fascinating. Someone sent me a link from IANS about a man who had a near-death experience, and he was abusive, and he was an alcoholic, and there was, a lot to his life that was dark. And even though I don't think he was taking full accountability for the fights that continued with his spouse, like you have to take accountability. You're a part of something that's toxic. And, that if you can't take accountability, then you can't grow. And one thing that, was lacking in the article was, I think, some accountability, but he did vastly change. And that much was evidence that in that light of unconditional love, perhaps even people who are highly abusive or addicted to substances can begin to see their part in things and not blame it on other people and substances. Like they would say, "Oh, that was me. Oh my God, I'm an asshole," or I'm terrible to people." Like the light can come on in light because there's nothing to fear. You're loved anyway. So in that presence of God, you can begin to drop the bad behaviors and you can begin to let go of them. And so I believe, I guess we can all sit around and hope that all the narcissists we know have near-death experiences, but it's not that easy. And I think that, can we shift towards more and more light and more healing for everyone, including narcissists? Yes, but I think in the meantime, just shining the light on what's truly happening, when someone is devalued or when you are devalued, or when you're going through a particularly tough time. Just remember that there is connection to light, there is connection to healing, and there is a way to change. And that is usually through unconditional love. So may you be blessed and may you remember to connect to that love that is eternal.